We love our pets. They're our best friends as we navigate life's ups and downs with a wag or a purr just when we need it. The Royal Veterinary College is there for our pets, home to Europe's largest small animal referrals hospital, with over 200 specialists providing expert care 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The bond between a pet and their person is worth fighting for, and that's the belief that inspired the RVC Memory Tree, a beautiful handmade sculpture standing in the heart of the RVC Small Animal Referrals Hospital, adorned with gold, silver and copper leaves, each one engraved with the name of a beloved pet, and each one funding the extraordinary work happening there every day. For just £10 a month, you can dedicate a leaf in the name of your pet, celebrating your pet's life, whilst also helping to fund life-saving treatment and care for animals in need. Visit rvcact.com/memory tree to dedicate a leaf today and let your pet's memory live on.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic to cosplay to Schitt's Creek to Supernatural and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and on this episode, our mission, if you choose to accept it, is to join Paula and I as we continue our mini celebration of Tom Cruise with a look at the 1996 film, yes, it's turning 30 years old, Mission Impossible. This was also the first entry into the franchise that just ended, really. And it's a franchise that's been going on for like nearly 30 years. It, of course, was based on a television show, and it's my favorite action franchise. So I am excited to talk about the first one. And joining me for this episode is, well, I guess the biggest Tom Cruise fan in the world, since she's on practically every Tom Cruise episode we're doing this month, with the exception of our Patreon bonus episode talking about Collateral. Tiff and I are on that one. So, hey, Paula.
Hey, yeah, it was a surprise to everybody, including me.
Including me. I know. Paula's like, yeah, I'm not really a fan, but hey, I like these movies.
That's all you really need. Do you like the movies? Yeah.
There you go. So we are going to be spoiling this 30-year-old movie. You had your chance. You can rent it. I'm sure you can get this at the library. Support your local libraries. You can buy this one. I believe you can still get the physical media for this. So go out and watch it. But if you don't want to be spoiled, then you'll want to watch it first and come back and listen to us. But I'm going to give you the IMDb info. So from IMDb, an American agent under false suspicion of disloyalty must discover and expose the real spy without the help of his organization. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. It's directed by Brian De Palma, and it is based on the television series, which was created by Bruce Geller. And the writers for this, the story was by David Cope and Steven Zalian, and the screenplay was by David Cope and Robert Towne. And it stars Tom Cruise, of course, as Ethan Hunt, John Voight, so triggers for John Voight. I really think that should be a trigger because as Jim Phelps, Emmanuel Bert as Claire, Henry Czerny as Kittredge, Jean Reno as Krieger, Ving Rhames as Luther, Kristen Scott Thomas as Sarah Davies, and Vanessa Redgrave as Max. And of course, there are tons of other people in here as well, but I will stop there. So my first question, and I know I should have said on a scale of 1 to 5 missions, but I said IMF team members. So I'm still going to stick with it though, because, it's kind of, if you give a half, that's kind of a, a weird way to, you'll have to live with that. But on a scale of 1 to 5 IMF team members, what do you rate Mission Impossible? And has that rating changed since the first time you saw it?
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Oh, you're half in one of those.
I'm half in one of them. I only remember, I honestly, I think this is only the second time I've seen this movie. I know.
Wow.
And I don't hate the franchise. Like I did not realize how many movies were in this franchise because I've only seen like 4 of the movies.
Whoa.
So I don't remember what I originally thought of the movie other than the fact that the first time I saw it and this time I was like, Emilio Estevez is in this. Oh, he's dead.
I know he dies so quickly.
I was so mad. I was so excited. And then I was so sad. But I give it a solid 3.5. I think despite how outdated the tech is that they use in this movie, it is a solid movie still. It holds up. The story still holds up.
I give it 4. Like I said, this isn't my favorite at all in the franchise. It's not even in like my top 5 of the franchise. Like I said, this is my favorite action franchise, and I think this is a great entry point into it. It's a great way to kick it off. I remember watching this in the theater. I remember being like, whoa, because I've always been like, I love action movies, but not to the extent that some people do. And I was really drawn to this one, not to sound like all snobby or anything, because this one is a little bit more brain power in it. I'm not trying to put down because a good brainless action movie can be fun. But I think that's part of what attracted me to it. I love the Mission Impossible theme. I still to this day love it. And that also attracted me. We'll talk about Tom Cruise in a minute because I will say something that'll probably blow everybody away in a moment. But I just was really into it instantly. And I don't know if my rating has changed, to be honest. I was trying to think, and it's probably remained about the same. Maybe it might have been a little bit higher. And I think that's also because I'm also comparing it to where the franchise went. And I think the character development of some of the people that still are around, like Luther and stuff throughout the franchise. So I think because of that, because I'm remembering like the characters that come and the different routes this film takes and the different things it explores, that's probably why, even though 4 is a really high score, but that's probably why it would go down a notch because of that, because of where I know where the franchise goes from here. I will say, I think it's interesting because so many Mission Impossible movies actually are pretty long. And this one's under 2 hours, like just under 2 hours. And that's pretty good, especially for like a taut thriller in the 90s by Brian De Palma. It just seems kind of like, oh, well, they really, really wanted to get it where it wasn't too long and people didn't get bored and they could keep your interest. And yeah, it is interesting when you go into this, when you first watch it and you're like, oh, wow, this is cool team members. They're all going to be there through the whole thing. Dead, 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 dead. Except, of course, for Claire, and since you're spoiling everything, Jim and everything, who are like working together and they're the bad people. I forget about it each time, even though I've seen this movie quite a few times. When a new Mission Impossible movie comes out, I try to watch like all the previous ones. And so I've seen it quite a few times, but I still forget. And I forget how quickly Emilio Estevez dies. It's like really, he's the first one. And he dies by the elevator going up and then the thing just stabbing him in the face through the eye. It's like, whoa.
That's a horrible way to go.
And also the thing that would probably make me rate this lower is it's hard to watch Jon Voight. I don't like him as a person off screen, but I also just don't like watching him, period. He creeps me out. So that's also another reason. But I'm still giving it 4, so it's still pretty high. So since we are doing a mini Tom Cruise month, what are your thoughts on Tom Cruise's performance and the character of Ethan Hunt?
So, again, like, I may not like Cruise as a person, but I admire his dedication to his craft. The fact that he performs most of his own stunts and his willingness to like give his all to a movie is admirable. I think the character is great. I love kind of following along, and like, okay, like you were saying, like I love a good like action movie, but I also like the ones that kind of make you think a little bit, and like following along to try to figure out who's the bad guy, who's double crossing who, and all that, and watching him figure it out. Like especially this time because I already basically know the plot of the movie, and that there's, that John Voight is the villain at the end. It was fun kind of going along with him and being like, oh, that's where he figured these things out. And you just see it in those little expressions. It's not, over and over the top. And again, like he's a great actor, and I love watching his performances. So yeah.
Yeah, I think he's, it's interesting watching this after Top Gun and seeing that 10 years of improvement in his performances. And I think he's so good in this role. And the confession I'm going to make is when I saw this movie first, I was like, holy crap, I've never found Tom Cruise so sexy in my life. I found him so absolutely gorgeous in this movie when I first saw it. The scene, and I'll get into it more when we're talking about our favorite scenes, but the scene at Langley and when he's hanging there all in black. And oh my gosh, I remember watching this in 1996 and being like, holy shit, that is so fucking attractive. That's so sexy. There was something about it. And I remember I was like, what in the world's going on with me? So that's my confession.
I don't find him attractive at all, but I get it watching that scene. It's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, there's something about it that is very attractive. I was like, oh man, look at his ass in that. And that's the way I felt. And so watching it now, I still kind of go, oh yeah, he is very attractive in this movie. So that's my little confession. But putting that aside, I do think Tom Cruise does a fabulous job. These are really his movies. This whole franchise balances on his shoulders, really. He gives so much to this franchise going through, the whole thing, doing those stunts. Like some of the stuff that they do in this movie, this first one is just like, whoa, the train sequence with the helicopter and all of that is just wild. And he does it so well. And he does it so well when he's like actually playing the senator in the scene, and when he's doing these other voices. And there's so many scenes that are from his point of view. The camera is like from his point of view. And also just watching, like you said, Paula, those micro expressions of when he's figuring it out. Like when he's talking to Jim and he's talking about, Jim is saying it's Kittredge, and he knows by now, he's figuring it out by now that it is Jim, and he knows. He's suspecting Claire was involved too, but he's not positive about that yet. But he's sitting there and he's going through all the murders that happened, and he's like saying Kittredge's name, but what you're seeing is him putting Jim in that place. But those little expressions on his face where he knows, and he's letting us know that he knows, not just with us seeing those moments, but with the little expressions, but he's still not completely giving it away to Jim yet. And he does that very well, the little micro expressions there. You don't get to know too much about Ethan Hunt in this first entry as a person. You get to know that a little bit more down the line, except for the fact that that he came from his family has a farm. And so you think simpler life, maybe, I don't know. A hardworking life, of course, but simpler as far as not in this big espionage type stuff, CIA type stuff. So you don't really know him too much as a character, but I think as an action star, Tom Cruise does such a great job. And I think Ethan Hunt is such a fun character to watch and to watch progress and to watch in those action scenes and to watch how he works with the other actors and other people and how he knows. He kind of can feel out. Ethan Hunt can kind of tell really quickly who he should trust and who he shouldn't. Because, also the character of Krieger, Jean Reno's character, is also working with Jim. And so you kind of see that he has this distrust of that character because that character does a few things like sneezes when they get to Langley and then drops Ethan Hunt a little bit when he's trying to hold on to that wire. And they're little things that you could just excuse away or trying to get the knock list and all of that stuff. And you can excuse it away. But at the same time, those are little hints to Ethan that he's not the most trustworthy person. Whereas with Luther, he kind of already has this trust with him. And that relationship, of course, extends way beyond just this film. And so I think that was interesting that Ethan has just such that mind of like, he's been in this business for so long. And even though he didn't know until later that Jim was the one who did it, he kind of can feel new people out pretty well. And he's not as trusting. He has, a big wall up. He doesn't let people in because you probably can't really do that as much in that job because you can lose everything like that. And you're pretty much faking and pretending who you are all the time. So I think he's kind of a character that he's not even sure who he is and he can't open up to people. And I think Tom Cruise plays that very, very well. So yeah, I love the character of Ethan. He's not actually my favorite character in the franchise. So we'll be getting to that later because I'm sure you can probably guess by the time how many times I've already mentioned him. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the other characters in the film. And I'm going to ask Paula who her favorite is. And it could be Ethan. If Ethan is your favorite, that's your favorite. Because I know, you and your Tom Cruise love. Sorry, I'm just never going to be able to let that go. So we'll be right back.
Sometimes us men don't think much about what we wear, particularly in the summer months. You find something that's not too hot, put it on and repeat until it falls apart. This episode is sponsored by Quince, and they are changing the game for men this summer. Quince makes high-quality essentials in genuinely good materials, like breathable European linen and soft organic cotton, priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do that by working directly with ethical factories and cutting out all the middlemen. You're paying for what it actually is, not what it's been marketed as. Their European linen pants and shirts are the kind of thing you pick up as one item and end up wearing 3 times a week, starting from just $34. The tees are soft and actually fit well, and the lightweight cotton sweaters are genuinely useful when summer evenings turn on you without warning, as they tend to. And they've gone well beyond clothing. Custom upholstered sofas, ceramic cookware, premium bedding. It's become the kind of brand where you end up recommending it for everything, which is either a good sign or a sign you've become a person who recommends brands. Either way, for a man like me, the linen shirt is a game changer. You can wear it an embarrassing number of times this summer, and it never goes out of style or out of comfort. If you've been getting through summers on the same approach I used to use, then Quince is the upgrade for you. Elevate your summer wardrobe. Go to quince.com/wizardio for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/wizardio for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wizardio.
Okay, so there are a bunch of other characters in this movie, as there usually are, and a bunch of other IMF team members. There's, of course, the bad person, Max, played by Vanessa Redgrave. So, Paula, what are your thoughts on the other characters, and who is your favorite?
I loved Max as the bad, as one of the villain characters. Vanessa Redgrave. I mean,
yeah,
how can you not love her? But I think, and again, it's been so long since I've seen this movie that when I saw Ving Rhames, I was like, yes, I forgot he was in this. I love Luther. Luther is my favorite character, like just hands down. Like I love him, and I was so happy to see him in the first one. Because like I said, it's been so long, and after having watched this first one, I'm like, I now want to just go and watch the entire series because I forgot how much fun some of these movies can be, and I just it's Luther. It's always going to be Luther. I love that character.
Yeah, I do too. He's my favorite too. Yeah, I love him. And I love him watching it throughout, because you only get a taste of him in this first one. You don't really get to know much about him. And it's just the beginning of his partnership with Ethan. And that grows so much through the franchise. So I love that as well. But yeah, I agree. Max, Vanessa Redgrave is so good in this movie. And like the scene on the train when she's trying to get the knock list uploaded and Luther and all of them are messing with like the Wi-Fi and the signal and all of that stuff. And that scene is so great and she's so good. And I also love just what she's almost flirtatious with Ethan. And I love that. I love their first interaction. I love how she pretty much is like kind of likes him. She's like, oh, yeah, yeah. And I like all of that. I think she plays that really, really well. It's always fun, I think, to see women in these roles. And I just really think she's fantastic as well. John Voight is creepy, so I'm not going to talk much about him, but it's perfect fit for who he turns out to be. Kittredge is one of those characters that you're like, I don't really trust you at all. And so I don't really necessarily like him. I do want to mention, and this is a spoiler for the very last Mission Impossible. So spoilers. The guy in this one who's in the Langley room that they're in, who they basically ruin his life and he has to go, he's shipped off to Alaska. He's in the very final one.
That's amazing.
And you see where I won't spoil the whole thing of where he is, but he's in the final one, which I thought was so great to bring that back to kind of have this full circle moment was awesome. It was excellent.
I love that.
So you get to see where he is, which is a great thing. So if you haven't watched the final Mission Impossible, which I like it, but I do agree. It wasn't like the greatest note to leave off on. It's way too long, but it doesn't have as many great action set pieces, but it's still a Mission Impossible movie and I love it still. So once again, yeah, Luther is my favorite. I do think even though we get very little of him, I do think Emilio Estevez's character is fun to watch and you can tell he's having fun playing this character. And you get like the sense that him and Ethan have worked together for a long time and they have this really good partnership going, this really good bond. And so I thought that was done really well. I think all of these characters, even the ones that have very, very short amounts of screen time, are pretty fleshed out. I do appreciate that in the Mission Impossible movies, there are lots of women in these movies and lots of female agents. And I do appreciate that. I do understand though that they do tend to rely heavily on the sexualization of the characters. I will admit that is not necessarily a great thing. All of these women are pretty sexualized throughout these movies. And they use their sexuality, their charm, their good looks, everything like that as a way of getting the information they need. You really see that with the Claire character and the way she interacts with Ethan. The whole scene when she comes back and Ethan thought she was dead and he's like confronting her. And it's this very like almost sexually tense scene where he's like grabbing her and they're on the bed and he's like on top of her. And it's this like very sexually charged scene, and every scene between Ethan and Claire is like that. And I understand that's what Claire was trying to use, her sexuality and her way to woo him and everything like that. And there's the scene where Jim is just a total asshole and is like, yep, I'm privy to those. I knew they would work because you're my wife and I'm privy to the way you use your body or whatever. He doesn't really exactly say those words, but it's pretty much what he's insinuating. And so that was a little bit like when I was watching it this time, I was like, I don't know what I think about that because I don't know, that's kind of like a cliche that's used a lot in these kind of movies where women are just using their sexuality. And I understand where that comes from and everything, but it was just kind of, I'm like, so are you guys just going to have sex or something? Because that's the way it felt in that scene. I was like, any minute now, he's just going to kiss her passionately and they're just going to.
Well, and it did feel a little weird because she was just lost her husband.
I know.
And now she's kind of, for lack of a better word, like kind of throwing herself at you. Like, what? Was there like something going on behind the scenes already that we didn't get, that we weren't privy to?
I know, because you kind of get that feeling like maybe they've been like towing that line for a long time because she's so intimate with him, like in all their scenes, like even when she's just kissing him on the cheek, that's not like just like a kissing on the cheek, like friendly thing. There's a lot behind that. The way she touches his face, the way he looks at her, all of that kind of stuff. So it makes me wonder if maybe Jim already knew that like they had this connection already. And he's like, we can definitely use that, Claire, use that he's really attracted to you. And for some reason, Claire didn't think it. And then you kind of see that he might have had this like crush or this desire for her for a long time. And you see at the end when Jim kills her, and she's dying, and the way he's holding her, the way Ethan is holding her, and how angry he gets when he goes after Jim, you can tell that he still really cares about her. It's really interesting to watch because even though he knows that she also turned on him, because there's the whole thing where he's wearing the mask to look like Jim at the very end on the train towards the end of it's a big reveal about the villains. And you can tell that he's just really hurt that, oh, well, it is true. She was also involved in this. So everything she's been saying and doing has been a lie. And you can tell it really, really hurts him. And it's just an interesting character dynamic and relationship there. And the character of Claire, that's the thing, is that even though there are a lot of women in this movie, some of the women are not as fleshed out, of course, as the men. And that tends to be a problem anyway. And so there is a part of me that always kind of wanted, you kind of want more of that Claire character of knowing like the background between the two of them, because it definitely doesn't seem like this is the first time they've ever flirted with that idea. Because if it is the first time, that's really weird timing.
Yeah.
My husband's out of the way. Time to finally flirt with you.
I mean, understandable with it being John Voight, but still, it's kind of icky.
Yeah.
It feels kind of icky.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay, we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the ending and the big reveal of the villain. And then we are also going to name some of our three of our favorite scenes or action pieces. So we'll be right back. Okay, Paula. So in the end, it is revealed, of course, that Jim and Claire are the masterminds behind this, but mainly Jim. And also, of course, like I said, he also had Krieger working with him too. So what are your thoughts on revealing Jim as the big bad? And of course, Kittredge has already been let in on this, and Kittredge is, because Ethan's got these glasses on and they're actually cameras. And so what are your thoughts on the big reveal?
I love this subgenre of action movies where there's like the double, triple, quadruple crosses and trying to figure out who all's actually in on it and the reveals. And again, I remembered from my original viewings of this movie that it was John Voight, but Claire completely threw me off this time. Like, even though I was like, what's going on between her and Ethan? It didn't register until the very end when she walks into the train car, and I was like, oh, she's in on it too. Cause I was like, that's not Jim. That's Ethan sitting there that she's talking to. And Krieger, like, I wasn't 100% sure whose side he was on. So, again, this movie's 30 years old, and all of those reveals, all of, leading up to this felt like a very genuine and earned ending and reveal for all of the participants, if you will, in the plot against Ethan and getting the knock list. Like I said before, like, I love just kind of following along, just seeing if I can piece those bits together and figure it out, like, before the big reveal. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes I'm really surprised. So yeah, so I enjoy the ending and the reveals.
Yeah, I'm with you, because it is the Claire thing. And when Ethan finds that Bible, he opens the Bible and it has the name of the hotel that they both stayed in, that both Jim and Claire stayed in. And that's the first indication, I think, to Ethan that Claire might be in on this. But I think for Ethan, going back to what we were talking about with the characters, he so badly doesn't want to believe that Claire would do that, because I think he genuinely has feelings for her. And you see that with the reaction to her being killed by Jim and everything. So I think for him, he wanted to find out for himself. And so he's like, okay, if I wear the mask as Jim, I'll be able to find out if she really truly is. And hopefully she's not. And hopefully it can be this big misunderstanding. And then to have that reveal where it's not a misunderstanding and she was part of it. And, but she doesn't really want to hurt Ethan, but she will end up hurting him. She just really wants the money, but she doesn't really want to hurt him. I think that was a very painful thing for him, because I think Ethan knew deep down she was part of this, but he so badly didn't want that to be real. And so that is the harder reveal, I think. The Jim thing, I think, honestly, when you watch it, and it could be just because that's pretty obvious. I think that's more obvious. But the Claire thing, you're not positive on, because there's times when, a husband's going to do that and not involve their wife, of course. So I think that's the more heartbreaking thing for Ethan and the more heartbreaking thing for the audience. The Krieger thing, made sense once it was revealed, but it's still not something when you're watching it that you're necessarily thinking is the case. And I think for Ethan, he starts to suspect that during the whole thing with the knock list where Krieger thinks he's got the knock list, which he actually did because the way Ethan played that, I really love that scene. And Ethan's like doing the sleight of hand thing and all of that. And then that exchange where he also notices the Bible happens at that time where he's like talking to Claire, and Claire is like, I'm sorry, I'm the one who brought him into this. I'm the one who recommended him. And it's that little nugget that's planted there. And you can see Ethan going, because he's already starting to suspect her and doesn't want to. And he's like, okay, Krieger must be in on this. Then Krieger's the one's flying the helicopter and all of that. So I think the reveal, though, is done so well because this film has become one of the most iconic things about this film is, of course, the masks and the taking off of the masks. There's a whole article listing like them in order of like what's the best reveals, like the top mask reveals in the whole franchise. And I think this film does it sets that up so well with all the different mask reveals. It's one of my absolute favorite parts of this whole franchise. It are the mask reveals. I think they're just so well done and just excellent and such a cool little use of technology, I guess. I don't know if this would really be a real thing, but it's done really well.
Who knows? It could be. Yeah. But they are fun.
They are. They're so much fun. They're so much fun. So I liked that last little mask reveal thing. So I think they do the little twist really well. I still think Kittredge is not a good person, though, and not to be trusted. And I think Ethan realizes that, too, though, because Kittredge so easily kind of turned and went, oh, it's you, Ethan. You're the one who's doing all of this. And so, had his parents arrested and everything like that and made them think they were drug smugglers. Not made them think, but, had them arrested as suspected drug smugglers and dealers and all that kind of stuff. And so I'd be like, yeah, I don't trust you anymore. And so I think for sure Ethan doesn't trust him anymore. And if he does trust him, that's kind of stupid. But I think this one sets up that Ethan becomes really, he lets people into his little inner circle. And then those are the people in there. And he has a hard time letting other people in because he has to see if he can trust them. This kind of builds up that, starts that whole thing with the reveal. And especially because Jim was almost like a surrogate dad to him in a way in this. So I think that was hard for him because that's probably why it took longer for him to see it at first, because of the fact that he was like a surrogate dad to him in a way. So, yeah, but I think it's done really well. So, of course, that one has a great action sequence with the helicopter and everything like that. And the helicopter going in the tunnel, and it's amazing. So you can mention that one too. So what are 3 of your favorite like action moments or pieces or other scenes in the movie?
Okay, that one's definitely a favorite, especially at the very end when the helicopter actually crashes into the train and the engineer connector kind of pops his head up and then fades. I laughed.
I know.
It was so funny. But that whole sequence was just like really good. Like, again, this is a 30-year-old movie, but that action sequence still holds up. Like, it's so well done, and it's exciting, and you're like kind of like on the edge of your seat, and I'm just like, yeah, it's so good. But I also want to mention that sleight of hand scene with the discs. That was such a great scene, and if I'm not mistaken, Tom Cruise actually learned how to do that to keep, so it's that wasn't like CGI and everything. He like actually did that. So again, master craftsman, he dedicates himself to a role, and that whole little sequence, because you don't know who actually has the disc because there are 2 discs, and you don't, and the way he just was able to so confidently, convince Krieger that he did not, in fact, have the disc, that Ethan still had the disc. I mean, it was just masterfully played. I love that scene. It's so good. And we've mentioned it already, the computer vault scene. I mean, it's iconic. It's been parodied. It's been copied. When you think of Mission Impossible, that's the scene that comes to mind first. it's so iconic, and it's a great, again, a very tense, very like just keep you on the edge of your seat type scene, and it was so well done, very exciting, and all those little, because you're sitting there and Krieger is like sneezes, or the rat in there, and then he drops Ethan and then the knife, and you're just sitting there like, and at this point you don't realize that he's one of the bad guys, and you're like, how are you this incompetent?
Oh my God, that knife.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of great scenes, but I'll just go with those three.
Yeah, I definitely echo the Langley scene. I think it is so well done. And like the part where, after Krieger has dropped Ethan and Ethan's like so close to the bottom there and he just keeps swinging his arms out. And then, because he's having to hold himself, that he is sweating, and that little drop of sweat that goes down his glasses. And when he catches that little drop of sweat, it's so well done. It's like, oh my God, that's amazing. Because it's just this little tiny droplet of liquid that would have had them caught right away. And the way that he's able to do that is just so, so well done. That whole scene is so tense because you're watching him hoping he just hurries up and gets that knock list. And then like you're watching as the guy that works in there, they put something in his drink so that he would have to keep going to the bathroom. I was thinking though, with the scene when he's sitting in the lunchroom area, the cafeteria area, and Claire is sitting next to him, she is so close to him. I'm like, I would be like, are you like trying
get away from me?
Why are you so close to me? I'd be like, personal space, because she's literally like 2 inches from him.
That's so uncomfortable.
I'm like, you are really close to him, Claire. You might want to back up a little bit because that could maybe give away some things there. But it's still so well done. And him like, getting sick. And then, because what's also great about that scene is he does end up back in the room for a little brief moment. And you've got Ethan hanging way up there. And so if he had just looked up, he would have seen Ethan. And so that's a tense moment because Ethan's got to be really quiet, no noise, nothing. And then him getting sick and leaving. And then, that knife, just having it be where they were successful, everything was fine. And then the knife drops. And if the knife hadn't dropped, no one would have known what had happened. Because when he sees that knife, when the guy comes back in the room, sees the knife, he does the keystroke history thing. And that's how he figures it out. But if that hadn't happened, which of course Krieger did that on purpose because of this whole thing. But if that hadn't happened, they would have gotten away scot-free. So it's like you went through all of that, all that tension. And then you drop that knife and it's like, you just slap him and Ethan is just sitting there fuming. But yeah, I completely agree. I do think the first sequence when Tom Cruise is playing the senator, and it's right before everybody starts dying. And of course, Emilio Estevez dies first. And the whole elevator sequence, because those things with elevators, when people are going up the elevator shaft or they're messing with the elevators, freak me out. It's a big fear of mine, honestly, to be in an elevator and have it just, like go down floors or you get stuck. I've gotten stuck in an elevator before and had to do where it was like they had to open up part of it and the firefighters came and actually got us out. The firefighter part was nice about it, but
I mean, if you're going to go through something like that, at least, there's firefighters at the end.
Exactly. But it was one of those things where you're like, okay, so you did turn this off, right? It's not going to start going and like smush you in half while you're being pulled out. So that is a fear of mine. So whenever there's elevator things like that, I'm always on edge and tense. So, and even though I've seen this movie quite a few times, I still get tense at that scene. And it is such a brutal death for the Emilio Estevez character. It's so brutal. But I think it's really well done, and it's a very good setup. And leaning to all the other murders that happen, I think it's a good setup for the whole film. I think it's done really well, even including the part where he goes and meets with Kittredge and he does the bubblegum thing, And then I will echo the final action set piece with the helicopter and Ethan using that bubblegum bomb again. I just love that. And what I also love is in that right before the driver, the train driver sees him and faints, you see the blade of that helicopter is like 2 inches away from Ethan's face. So he was so close to dying. And that's done so well because it's so tense and it's such a big, huge moment. And I think sometimes with this one, you might be like, oh yeah, they only did like those big ones later on. But this one has a couple of those really huge action moments, very tense. Of course, it's got the famous, infamous Tom Cruise running. There's a whole YouTube compilation of Tom Cruise running. He has a very specific way that he runs.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to watch. So yeah, those are my three. But I think a lot of these scenes in here are done so well. I also love that sleight of hand scene. It's so well done. And yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise really does go above and beyond. I will say there is I should have looked it up again. There's, in one of the movies, he is supposed to slap one or hit one of the women in the film. And he didn't want to do it. He's like, I'm not doing that. He actually refused. Like, the actress is like, no, you can do it. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. That doesn't make me. So, kudos to him for that, I will say. But he is very, very committed to his craft. I mean, you have to give him at least that he does these stunts. And I mean, granted, the insurance must be sky high to insure Tom Cruise. I can't even imagine. Yep. And then, of course, you get on the infamous coconut cake list where you get those coconut cakes every year from Tom Cruise.
I don't really like the guy, but I hear great things about him too.
I know.
So, I mean, you're making it really hard for me to dislike this man.
I think we should get on that cake list simply for covering him. I think we should be added to that list.
Yeah, come on, Tom. I hear these cakes are great. Everybody loves them.
They're so expensive too. And the fact that bakery has to close down for that time because they can only make those cakes.
I imagine he pays them really well to do that, though.
Oh, I bet they're making bank during that time. That's like the time when they're like, oh, yeah, it's the Tom Cruise time.
It's like, Tom, dude, if it just wasn't for the Scientology thing, he'd be great, dude.
I know, which is a big thing. I don't want to ignore that because it is. But Scientology is an alleged cult. Scientology has allegedly done a lot of horrible, awful things. So that's why I understand it. And I understand if people are upset that we're even covering his stuff. I totally get it. So it is this thing where I'm like, this is one of my guiltiest of pleasures, only because of who he is off screen with that alleged cult and what things he allegedly might know about. So I get it. I totally get it. But I do think he is actually a very talented actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a really good scene partner with the people he performs alongside. I think he gives his all. I'll be talking again. I've mentioned it before, what someone told me about when they were an extra on Jerry Maguire. So yes, I get the criticisms are very, very valid. But yeah, it's this thing I just can't help. It's like, I know it's bad for me, but
I just can't stop.
Yeah. Okay, well, that'll do it for us for our discussion of Mission Impossible. But we are going to turn to our 6 degrees of Mr. Finn Wittrock. And of course, I made the rule that you cannot use the same one for each one. We have yet to use Tom Cruise. I don't know if that'll happen in this one. So, Paula, how did you connect Finn Wittrock to Mission Impossible?
Well, again, I went with Ving Rhames because I love him. I love his character. So, Ving Rhames was in The Saint of Fort Washington with Kevin Corrigan, who was in Winter's Tale with Finn Wittrock, and your future husband, Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I was just going to say. You know who else is in that?
Sure do.
My future hubby. He probably gets these cakes because he's been in a movie with Tom Cruise, by the way. That's another way you could, I mean, this wasn't one I used, but they were in, of course, in Minority Report together.
Oh, that was a great movie, too.
That was the big break, actually, for Colin Farrell. I mean, he played the bad guy, but that was kind of one of his biggest breaks was that movie. So, yeah, he's probably on that list. See, another reason to marry him.
There you go.
I don't know if he's on that list, everybody.
He should be if he's not.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Unless he just doesn't like Tom Cruise and whatever.
Which valid, fair, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I used Emilio Estevez, who was in the movie Bobby with Helen Hunt, who was in Twister with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who was on stage with Finn Wittrock in a version of Death of a Salesman.
Yeah.
And little trivia, because Finn has said this before. One of Finn Wittrock's favorite movies is one of my favorite movies, and it also has Tom Cruise in it, and that's Magnolia. That's like actually my all-time favorite movie is Magnolia. And so he's talked about that, how exciting it was to be able to work with Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman, who, of course, was in Magnolia because he was a staple of Paul Thomas Anderson's his films. So shout out to the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, he is always sadly missed. That was one of the most devastating celebrity deaths for me was Philip Seymour Hoffman, because he was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent. And I just can't imagine. That must have been just such an amazing thrill to be able to work with him on stage, especially on stage, and especially someone that you admired so much. So I'm sure that was an incredible thing. Yeah. I've seen Finn on stage, by the way. I've seen Finn Wittrock perform in a play before.
You have.
Me and Tiff have. That was fun. 222, A Ghost Story. Yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun. He was really good. And someday Paula will be caught up on her Finn Wittrock.
Someday. Someday.
Someday it'll happen.
I'm getting there slowly, very, very slowly, but I'll get there.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Paula, for joining me for this episode discussing Mission Impossible. And everybody out there, let us know what your thoughts are on Mission Impossible. If there are any actors or actresses or anyone that you would love for us to do like a month covering, I will say there are some people we might not do or might be hard for me to do, like Jeff Goldblum. Like I admitted in Independence Day, he creeps me out so much. But it doesn't mean I won't listen to him and maybe do him. So let us know if there are any actors, actresses, directors, writers, anything like that. Musicians. We have our list of future music episodes, though, I will tell you, is about 5 pages long. So, but if people keep recommending the same one, we might bump it up a little bit. So let us know if there are any things you would like us to cover in the future. So, and we can possibly get those on that list. Like we do have a listener who did recommend and did request that we cover the show Shrinking. And we are going to be covering that in August. So sometimes dreams come true. But that'll do it for this week's episode. So we're going to go ahead and close out. And Paula, one of my co-hosts of It's a Dean Thing pod, tell everybody where you can be found.
Yeah, so Erin Moth and I host It's a Dean Thing, where we talk about our favorite supernatural character, Dean Winchester. We go season by season and talk about him. You can find that wherever you listen to your podcasts, and it's on social media at It's a Dean Thing Pod. You can find me personally at It's My Sandbox on social media, but come over to the Discord server for It's a Fandom Thing, because that's where we all really hang out. And speaking of Finn Wittrock, there is a channel, Paula Watches Finn Wittrock. So when I do surprise everybody and watch a Finn Wittrock movie, I will post there and let you know what I think about it and all that. So, occasionally the dust gets dusted and movies are watched, but we have a lot of great channels over there. There's It's a Dean Thing channel for that. There's fanfic, there's movies, there's theater, there's music, books, all kinds of stuff. Come hang out. It's a great spot to hang out with all of us, and everybody's friendly and it's a safe spot. So yeah, it is. If you're not a good person, I'd block you right away. And if you're peddling AI, you get blocked right away too. And also in that channel is a pet channel. It's a pet thing. And you can find pictures of Fergie the dog. Her favorite channel over there is actually, it's a horror thing because she loves horror movies, Abbott Elementary, and true crime. I almost said, and Finn Wittrock. I mean, fair. Who doesn't?
Maybe she does love Finn Wittrock. We don't know. But you can follow her on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find all our past episodes, links to our social media, including the Discord server that has been mentioned, head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free content, you get episodes a day early, and you get bonus episodes, like we will be releasing a bonus episode of Tiff and I covering another Tom Cruise movie, Collateral. And also in August, we will have 2 bonus episodes, one covering the final season of The Bear, and the other one covering the Vampire Lestat. So we also give away prizes occasionally too. So click the link in the show notes or go on over to the Support Us tab on our website, which once again is it'safandomthingpod.com. And next week, we are going to find out if Jerry Maguire completes Paula and I as we look at our final Tom Cruise movie of the year. Yeah, I don't think anything else we're covering has Tom Cruise now. Of the year. And that is Jerry Maguire. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, and free Palestine.